Hello, everybody. Welcome to CVG-TV. I am Gregory Parks, and you are watching CONLink. This time, I'm coming at you remote while our guest is in the studio. Everybody, please welcome local cosplayer and author, Briana Lawrence. So a round of applause at home. You can give a round of applause to yourself too, Briana, if you want. Yay! Awesome. Hello, it's great to see you.
Yeah, it's good seeing you too. It's good being in the studio and attempting to pretend like I know how to do interviews.
Right? Hey, and we're all pretty soon in a while going to be pretending that we know how to do conventions again.
Yeah, if I mess up in August, just roll with it. It's fine.
I think we're all going to be pretty forgiving. I mean, you know, we're all going to be needing the same grace. I'm thinking that's my prediction. Anyway.
Me too.
So it's been probably it's been a couple years. When was the last time you were able to attend a convention?
Well, my wife and I were just at one like a couple weeks ago, but before that, we hadn't gone to one since January 2020. We went to a con out in Ohio called Ohio Con, and then we had two cons planned in March. And CONvergence as well, like later in the summer. And on the way to both cons in March, we got the notifications that things were getting shut down. So we stopped the car at like a rest stop. I had to call the hotel to make sure we could get a refund, and then we had to turn around and go back home. And then we haven't been to cons since then. Except the one we did a couple weeks ago, which was very nice to go back to, but also it was very like, it's been 2 years, how do I socialize in this capacity? Because there's a lot of people and like, you have your table of things and like you have to promote your work, and it was just like, how do you go about doing that in person? But everybody was pretty much on the same wavelength of, oh my God, we're back at cons. And I remember why I love con life so much, because we're all like geeking out over the same things, and like I get to fangirl about things and people actually get what I'm talking about. And so it was like a kind of welcome home, like little celebration. And so I'm looking forward to the rest that we have this year. I'm looking forward to being a guest at CONvergence. They were extremely understanding and like super nice when like they're like, you can come in 2021, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. They're like, okay, we'll see you in 2022, and I'm like, excellent. So I can't wait to come back to the con.
And now it's getting closer and closer to being a reality.
I know.
So during that 2 years, a lot of people were finding ways to get their geek fix. What did you find yourself getting into? How did you address that geekery dry spell of the last 2 years and change?
So like, I played a lot of video games. Like I had a Switch, and all of my friends were playing Animal Crossing, which I had like never played in my life, but because I'm like, I don't know if I'm really the person to play a game where you just basically hang out at your house and, you know, grow like vegetables and all this other stuff. But all of my friends were playing it, and it was the way everybody was talking to each other, because you can visit each other's islands and stuff. So my wife and I were like, we should buy a second Switch so you can have one. And for like months, every night at like 7 o'clock, we would meet up at our friends' islands and just play Animal Crossing. And it was so wholesome, because we started 2 months later than the game released. So I was like, hey, I'm playing Animal Crossing. And all of my friends were like, what do you need? We'll send it to your island so you could just go. And like, people would like send me money. They would send me like gifts. They would tell me like, you need to make a net, you need to like watch out for wasps, you need to like watch out for scorpions and tarantulas, you need to sell them to these two characters to get the most money. And like for months, that was like my life, was Animal Crossing. And then at like near the end of 2020, the Mary Sue posted that they had like a staff position open. And I was like, I won't lie, my wife was like, you should apply because we don't have our conventions anymore, so you should just go for it. You've written fandom stuff before. And I was like, sure, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, it's 2020, it can't go downhill from here, right? So like, I got to do the interview and it was supposed to be for a news person, but I geeked out about cosplay and anime so much that they invented fandom editor for me. So I could just like write about cool fandom stuff. So I get to write about cosplay, I get to write about like, here's the manga I really like, here's the anime I'm watching, and all this other cool stuff. And so that kind of became my life. But at the same time, I had to like learn to do geek stuff not for work. So for a while, everything I like touched that was geeky, I was like, I could turn this into work. And then I had to stop, like, no, don't turn that into work. You need like your own separate geek thing. And so I started playing more video games, watching more stuff. Like I got an Xbox. Like I got like the new Xbox. Microsoft sent me one to like cover the Space Jam game. Sure. So like I just started playing a lot of Xbox, and I played Hades for months and months on end, and like a bunch of indie games, and then I blinked and 2 years had passed. And I feel like it just went really fast because I just kind of like, fandom became like my sanity during everything that was happening, but also my job. And so suddenly I was like, oh wait, now we're in a new year, it's 2022, and conventions are coming back. And so I get to bring this energy to conventions now, like this new like perspective on like fandom and being part of it professionally, but also to like do for fun. Like, yes, go play Pokemon. Like, play hours of Pokemon just because you need the break. And so, yeah, it's been really fun.
Sweet. So you said you picked up more video games.
I did.
You know, got next to Switch, got an Xbox, and we talked about Pokemon and Animal Crossing, and
Hades.
Before we were rolling, we were talking about Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
And
don't start. We'll be in here for an hour.
I'm not going to start. Yeah, we only have a few minutes. But you mentioned that you get to write a lot about anime with the Mary Sue, as a staff member of the Mary Sue, and I remember from your posts that one of your current or recent favorites has been Yuri on Ice.
Oh my God. So
what?
Don't do this to me.
Oh no. But I was going to say. So what are some others that are in your stable of favorites right now?
Okay, so Yuri on Ice is like my longtime love because it's 5 years old, but they keep teasing us with new art. So every time they release new art, I would write about it. But like current stuff, like, God, this is so embarrassing. But like last year, my favorites were like Skate the Infinity. Man, I could spend like 2 hours talking about why that was like my all-time favorite thing of 2021. Like I watched so much of that. That was the anime series that like, you know when like you're into something really, really, really like hardcore, that like every piece of media you get, you just have to get, like you just grab onto everything. They would release like a magazine cover for like a magazine in Japan, and I'm like, oh my God, and so, that was Skate. That was what Skate was, and like that's what it kind of still is. And like, God, I remember being like 16 and discovering like Suncoast and buying every anime thing, period. That's the feeling Skate gave me, because every little Skate thing, I'm like, either I have to try and own it, or I have to like retweet this thing, and it's just like one sentence, like they announced they were going to do more animation, and all they did was use footage that already existed. But I was like, oh my God, more Skate. And so Skate was the big one. I got into Skate, I got into Tokyo Revengers, which is my heartache anime where like it hurts to watch because it gets really sad, especially the manga. Yeah. But I really liked that one last year. I'm really into currently I'm really into Spy by Family. It's this really adorable, wholesome series where the guy's a spy and he has to get a wife and a child to infiltrate a school for a mission. And the wife's an assassin, but she doesn't know he's a spy and he doesn't know she's an assassin. And the girl he adopts is a telepath, so she knows all of their secrets. But she's like 5. She's a literal child. And the whole series is like him being like, I don't actually care for these people. It's just for the mission. But as soon as someone talks at the little girl the wrong way, he'll break a table. It's like, don't talk to my child that way. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the most wholesome thing in the universe. So that's my current anime love is Spy by Family, and also waiting for the next season of Skate, but mostly Spy by Family. And God, I'm watching so much anime, I feel like, but those are the ones where I was just like Skate made me write fanfic again, which I hadn't done. And
That's serious.
It was the last thing that did that was My Hero Academia, and after, which I'm still hugely into, but Skate, I was like, I'm gonna open my AO3 account and write fic again. And I was like, who is this person? Why am I writing fic again? And that's what that series, that's when I knew it was love. You know you love a series when you're spending your lunch break writing Skate AU with your little fanfic pen name. So yeah, I can't believe you made me talk about Skate.
Oh. I mean, I didn't make you talk about Skate. I just opened the door.
I could have made that my CONvergence bio. Was this is Bree. She likes Skate a lot. If you mention it, she will not let you go for 2 hours.
Skate.
You are. Now people at the con are gonna walk around that's the girl who talked about Skate a lot.
I hope not. There's so much more to you than your love for Skate. I was the same way when I saw, when I came across Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that one in a while.
This was several years back. That's the one that I will talk about when somebody talks to me about anime. Because I was I haven't been keeping up very current with anime. I still have a really soft spot for Outlaw Star.
Yeah.
But I grew up watching Battle of the Planets. And,
oh my God.
But Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. Oh my God. It's I have the CDs for soundtracks if you want to listen to it.
Oh my God. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Beck Mongolian Chop Squad is the one for me. And it's usually there aren't any superpowers or aliens or technology, no high technology or anything. It's just a high school kid who wants to play guitar in a band and
that stuff really hits me. Especially now, Spy by Family is just it's a family and they have to infiltrate a school and there's no huge superpowers or anything, but and it's a little girl who she's I love peanuts, and I'm oh my God, you're so cute. And I think it's just hitting me at the right time where all the wholesome things, I'm yeah, just give me wholesome feel-good vibes. I binge watched Heartstopper on Netflix, which is the cutest LGBT.
I've heard about that.
Oh my God. And I had read all the graphic, I read the graphic novels, and then the series came out, and I'm God, there's a part where they're playing Monopoly at midnight, and I'm oh man, you probably started that at 6 p.m. and Monopoly goes forever, so it will ruin your friendships, but I'm oh God, this is the wholesome level I need of content. So I've just been gravitating toward really chill, fun things. But occasionally I'm yeah, give me the cool action. I was telling you earlier, I have to finish Moon Knight and I have to because all the Marvel series, I like watch them, and it's hard to watch them weekly because they end on cliffhangers, and I'm like, I feel like I should just wait till you're done and then binge. That's the face.
That way, I don't have to put myself through the torture of waiting another week, or maybe even more, if I can't get to it on release day.
I know.
But so let's move. Yeah. So we don't have to talk about Skate anymore.
We can.
But we can.
I'm kidding.
I realize this, but also you've had some other stuff going on like before. So before the pandemic, you released your book.
I did.
You released your book, or book one of the series. I did. Of Magnifique Noir.
I did.
Book one.
That makes me so happy.
And I believe by this point you have a book 2 out now. You have the next book in the series. Please talk about those and finishing up book 2.
Yeah. So the first book came out in 2017, and it's basically my take on the magical girl genre because I grew up with like Sailor Moon and series like that. And so the first book, there's a retired magical woman. Her name is Golden Blaze. She used to be a magical girl back in the day. And she may or may not be based on my mom, who may or may not have dyed her hair orange to portray a character at a con once. She did. It was adorable.
That is awesome. That is
best sales tactic I've ever had at a table in my life, was just having this woman, and she's like, that's me right there, and my baby wrote that. I'm like, oh my God, please come to every con that I do. But so Blaze,
that's great support. Holy cow.
Blaze was part of Magnifique Noir like 20 years ago, and everybody's retired. There's no more magical girls or whatever. But monsters start showing up again. And so Blaze starts training the new generation of magical girls. And so there's 4 girls. There's Galactic Purple is the leader. And all of their moves are based on their like occupation. So since Galactic Purple is a baker, she actually throws exploding cupcakes. And
oh yeah.
Cosmic Green's a gamer, so she throws pixels and things like that, and she's like the pop culture reference head. So, and there's Radical Rainbow. She's a kickboxer, so she actually kicks rainbows and is a trained fighter. And Prism Pink's a seamstress, so she uses needles and threads for her attacks, and like all the sewing references that I had to get my wife to help me with because I'm not a seamstress, but she is. So the first book is like the team coming together and becoming a team again. The second book is the team starting to ask questions like, where are the monsters coming from? What actually happened 20 years ago? Why did the team break up? Like, why is this happening again? And another woman shows up, Starlight Blue. She's a former member of the team, and Blaze is like, she's the reason why everything went wrong. And so they're trying to figure out who she is, why she's back, what's happening, what has Blaze not been telling them, and stuff like that. Because the first book, there was like too much like, monsters are attacking, we had to focus on that. The second book is like, okay, but why are they attacking? Why did they come back? Like, if you actually stopped it 20 years ago, what made them resurface, and where do we go from here? And there's a lot of like taking care of yourself, mental health things, because they're like, man, we almost died in the first book. So I'm kind of like stressed out about being a magical girl and a college student. Like, I need to like take a break, and this is hard. And so that's what the second book focuses on. There's 4 books planned in the series, and I'm actually working on the third book right now, but the second book was released in 2020 at the probably the worst possible time because nobody knew what 2020 was going to be. And like, so now I get to like bring the book to conventions, and it's weird because it's like, I know it's been out for 2 years, but I didn't get to take it anywhere. So it feels like I launched it yesterday.
So now you get to put it in a little like baby Bjorn and just take it out and like show everything. show your book off to everybody.
Yeah, and
that's
it's
tremendous.
also it's an illustrated novel. So while you're like reading the book, there's artwork from different artists I hired to do the art, and they just like illustrate different like key scenes in the book. And the second book is the same way, so it's got like the illustrations and stuff as well. And all the girls are Black, all the girls are part of the LGBT community, and the second book also has more about like, you know, the romance and crushes and people getting together. And so that was like super fun to write. Also fun because I didn't have to like write an origin story, which takes a long time.
Awesome. It's just like, oh, we'll take care of this in flashbacks. That's all right. Or, you know, or the team will find out about it, and that's how the audience finds out about it. That's perfect economy, and it's better for you. Like you said, it's less of a headache. Yeah. Holy cow, this is so great. It's so great to hear that you have been able to put these last 2 years, I guess, into work and make something out of it. Like not only creatively, but you know, also for yourself, because a lot of us needed a lot of relaxation and self-care over the last couple of years. And it's good that we're.
There was a person who came to the table and they were saying that like I didn't have the motivation to write. I'm like, you know, technically I didn't either. This isn't a new book. It was written before everything went bad. So I didn't start the third book. I actually didn't start writing the third book until this year. Like the plan was to start writing it in 2020. And I was like, well, that motivation's gone. So we'll see when it comes back and 2022 hit. And my brain was like, I'm okay now. You can start writing for like other projects besides work projects again. And so that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. And so we're all bringing it back, and conventions are bringing people back, and we're all going to be back. So thank you for joining us for this interview, Briana. It's been a pleasure speaking with you again. It'll be great to see you as a guest of honor at CONvergence 2022.
That's so cool.
It's like, oh, excited. So now I'll let you go off, calm down after all this excitement. It'll be difficult to contain this excitement building up to CONvergence 2022. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us here for CVG-TV. I'm Gregory Parks, and we'll see you on the next ConLink.
Dear con-goers, always remember that it pays to be a red shirt.
Oh, come on. We can go in for just a few minutes and we'll be just fine.
Nay, I shan't enter this party as we are currently in a plague. Besides, there be drugs and vapes in there, and I shall not partake.
We can just wear our masks. +3 against viral beholders.
I do not believe you are going to wear your mask the whole time that you're in there. You can't go 5 minutes without hitting your magical pipe.
Ooh. Tally ho.
Ugh.
Take -5 modifier for your magical pipe.
What did I tell you?
Are you here for the book swap? Well, that's wonderful. If you want to leave a book or take a book, maybe sit, read, and relax, it's all free here. Well, I mean, if you're feeling adventurous, we do have our blind date with a book selection, so you could try out something that you might not have considered.
Book swap. Whether you want to give books, take books, sit, read, and relax, or all of the above, it's always free. Located on the 6th floor, Balcony Lounge.